Well. I'm doing a football schedule prediction. Actually, I'm going to combine two of them, the Clemson Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm going to do both of them. So, Clemson, they, on their standards, were doo-doo, but they still won 10 games. That's how much of a statement Clemson has put on college football in the last 15 years under Dabo. So, Dabo is probably the best coach. Besides Saban and Kirby, Dabo is probably the best coach. Because Dabo's an elite coach. I just don't like him. And before I get into my prediction, shout out to these guys. Clemson Fan 1, The Sports Critic, and Mile High 6. Some of the best Clemson fans I know, and some of the only Clemson fans I know on YouTube. Shout out to them. Before we get into the Clemson, and we'll do Georgia soon. Moving on, first up, we got Georgia Tech. Now, this prediction is going to depend on who starts at quarterback for Clemson. Now, Georgia Tech. Now, they're going to beat Georgia Tech regardless of who starts. Even though the game's in Atlanta. It's at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. This is a no-brainer. Clemson's just way better than Georgia Tech. And, yeah, they did lose both of their coordinators, but Tony Elliott is doo-doo. So, yeah, Clemson will easily win that. Furman, I don't even need to talk about that. Clemson's going to easily win that game. And then Clemson will easily beat Louisiana Tech. Now, this is probably their hardest game, aside from a game coming up later in the year. Wake Forest. They have the best quarterback in the ACC. And the guy I can argue as a sleeper for the Heisman this year, Sam Hartman. Now, did Wake get absolutely annihilated by Clemson in Death Valley last year? Yes. But these two teams are completely different. Wake is a sleeper team this year, and I think nobody gives credit to Wake at all. Wake has turned around from being one of the worst teams to now one of the better teams in the ACC. This game depends on who starts at quarterback. If Cade starts, I think Clemson will win that game. If DJ starts, they're kind of fucked. But again, I'm going to take Clemson just because they're the better team. Then Wake Forest. We're going to move on. The NC State game. I'm taking Clemson. It's at Clemson. NC State was a fluke last year, in my honest opinion. I think they're overhyped. So Clemson will win this game. I think it's going to be convincing, too, because it's in Clemson. And NC State can't compete with Clemson on the road. Other than 2016. Moving on, Boston College. Now, Boston College, they had their best team in 10 years last year, and they still couldn't beat Clemson. They still couldn't do it. I think Clemson's going to beat Boston College again. Florida State. Now, Florida State I consider to be a program on the rise. I think Florida State's going upward now. I think there's nothing to go but up for them. I like what Florida State's been doing in the offseason. I think it'll be closer than what people think because Florida State actually has a defense and their offensive line has improved. When I heard their offensive line was actually decent in the spring game. But again, spring game means nothing if you can't put it on the field. Will this game be close? Yes. Will Clemson win? Probably. I think Clemson's better. Moving on, Syracuse. Do we even need to talk about that? Syracuse is probably the worst team in that division, so Clemson's going to easily win that. Notre Dame. Oh, boy. At Notre Dame. This is in South Bend, and I think around this time is where Cade's going to come in at quarterback because I think DJ's going to start early. He's going to be hot doo-doo. He's going to get benched because, let's be real, DJ is doo-doo. I was watching the highlights of Clemson's spring game. DJ is doo-doo. I'm sorry. DJ is done. I've given up on DJ. I was going to defend DJ because I was like, maybe it's Tony Elliott's fault that he's been terrible. Nope. Absolutely embarrassing. Now, we'll see what he does in a real game. But regardless of who starts at quarterback, I think Notre Dame's going to win this game. It's in South Bend. And Notre Dame, I think, is going to be one of the best teams in the country this year because I'm really high on Notre Dame football this year. Most others aren't, but I am. Moving on, Louisville. I don't think we need to talk about that. Clemson's going to win that easily. Then Miami. Everyone's saying that Clemson is going to win this game. No, they won't. Actually, everyone's saying Miami's going to win. No, they will not. I am sorry. Tyler Van Dyke is doo-doo. People don't understand how bad Van Dyke is. Van Dyke lit up nobodies. He beat two good teams, actually. Pittsburgh and Wake. Was not impressed. Was not impressed at all with what Van Dyke did. Now he's playing a full season against good teams. He's got to play Texas A&M, Clemson. He lost to Florida State because he doesn't know the simple rules of college football. You can't spike it with less than 3 seconds left. That's impossible. You can't possibly do it. Because the clock stopped at 2 seconds. Van Dyke spiked the ball. And the clock ran out because he was an idiot. Clemson will win this game pretty easily. And this will be a blowout. Clemson owns Miami. This one won't even be close either. And the last few times, it's been a blowout. And I expect no less from that. Moving on, South Carolina and Clemson. South Carolina, Clemson's won 7 in a row over South Carolina? If you're a Clemson fan, correct me in the comments down below. I think Clemson wins this one. Quite convincingly, too. I love Rattler, but South Carolina doesn't got no line. Rattler's going to die behind that O-line. People are like, he's going to suck against SEC defenses. If he has an O-line, he's going to do good. You don't understand. When his O-line shows up, he's actually good. But I do expect Clemson to win this game. I have you at 11-1 right now, losing to Notre Dame. Because I think Cade's going to come in on the Wake Forest game, and they win. Now, let's look at Georgia, the defending national champions. They lost a lot. But looking at Georgia, shout out to Valix Prime Sports, El Chapo, all those Georgia fans that I know. The only nice Georgia fans out there, by the way. Because they're the only nice Georgia fans I know that are on YouTube. I mean, I like Uncle Lou's content, but still. Georgia, they lost everybody on defense except for Nolan Smith, Keely Ringo, and I think that's it. I don't know who else they brought back. But I know their offense is going to have to be top 10 in the country if they want to win the national. If they want to go back to back, they need to have the best offense of all time. Their offense needs to do good, and I can see Stetson Bennett going to New York. I can. Stetson Bennett earned my respect beating Alabama. Kirby earned my respect in general beating Alabama. Kirby's elite. Let's start out with Oregon. Now, Oregon has your old defensive coordinator, Dan Lanning. That game will be interesting. But Georgia will win that game in the end. Georgia's just a better team. Their offense is going to prevail. Samford, Lowell, 70-point blowout. That won't even be close. South Carolina, I don't think that one's going to be close either. Moving on, Kent State, that one won't be close. You'll win 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, because you'll beat Auburn. Lowell, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is done. Their schedule's so hard. Georgia will easily beat Vanderbilt. Won't even be close. And it's in Athens, so yeah. Next up, Florida. You're screwed. Florida. I don't know how Florida will do with Napier. Napier's not doing so hot recruiting-wise. He's not. But we'll see what happens on the football field. But this is Georgia. They will win this one handily. Moving on, the Tennessee game. Tennessee, I think, will be the most improved team in the SEC besides South Carolina. But I do think Georgia's simply better than Tennessee. Give me the Dogs to beat the Vols convincingly, too. Mississippi State, that's a win. Mississippi State sucks. And Georgia, then Kentucky. Kentucky got a quarterback in Will Levis, but other than that, who do they really have on their team? But I'm taking the Dogs over Kentucky, though. Dogs win big. And then Georgia Tech, Dogs win big. I have you at 12-0. I have you at 12-0, and you have the number 5 offense in the country. your offense is going to have, if you want to win if you want a shot at winning the national title, your offense has got to be elite. With that defense you lost, your offense needs to be elite if you want to win the national title. Because Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame, Utah, you're better than Utah, but Utah's got an offense. Oklahoma, maybe USC, but who knows? But Georgia, 2023 will be fun when you play Oklahoma. That's gonna do it for the schedule prediction between the Clemson Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.